Well, welcome back to Retro Life for You, the podcast where we dive into the unforgettable movies of the 80s and 90s, exploring the stars, the stories, and the legacy they left behind. Today, we are saddling up and headed way out west, or rather, far east, to the rugged Australian outback. That's right, we're talking about Tom Selleck in the 1990 film Quigley Down Under. This movie's part Western, part adventure, and part fish out of water comedy with an iconic leading man, a gorgeous Australian scenery, and some very big guns. I mean, literally big guns. So, my name is Chris, host of the show, and with us, as always, Mr. Travis Rollins.
G'day, mate.
Good night, mate. How are you doing? Are you?
Well,
Did you have a little shrimp on the bobby today?
yeah, not shrimp though.
I imagine they hate hearing that stuff. You know.
Yep, 100%.
Do you have a
I don't know
knife?
how long it's gonna stay on my head, but I'm wearing my.
Yeah.
I'm wearing my authentic, Outback Trading Company. This is the bootlegger, the 1484 bootlegger from genuine Australian Earl skin.
You know, I fully expected you to whip out a knife and tell me that that's not a
That's
knife.
not a knife.
This is a knife.
That's a
Oh,
knife.
there we go. I was waiting. I knew something was coming that way. So how
But
you
this
been?
is not. This is from something
Oh,
completely different.
so
If you
while,
see
while
this
we're
in your
hold
brain,
on. While we're on the matter, go ahead and introduce what you have for the people who can't see it. Let them know what you got there.
this is the Atlantean sword. A lot of people call it the father sword, which is actually not correct. This is the Atlantean sword from Conan, the original, not what 1980, Conan the Barbarian movie. It's the one that he found in the cave when the dogs were chasing him. Yeah, the Atlantean sword. The only thing that I'm not happy with is it's not a Toledo, but they're getting harder to find. They don't really make them no more.
Right.
So, and as soon as I saw it, just in my head, I thought I might have done it in the middle of the store. I might have just started going, boom, 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 boom.
I mean,
This
you
is
are a
this is one of my
collector.
most coveted swords of all time, and I was holding out to try to find a Toledo sword company because Toledo sword companies, even if they're not, the difference between battle ready and non-battle ready is the edge. So a non-battle ready Toledo sword is blunted, battle ready is sharp, but they're made with the same. Like you can fight with a Toledo sword, like a Toledo sword. Unless it just is flat out tells you it's for display only, Toledo swords are some of the highest uh, quality swords you can buy, aside from like real, Japanese made katanas and stuff.
Right. Well, one more marked off the list of future buys, I guess we'll say.
One more, go down. Oh, we got this pretty cool thing right here too at a place called Finders Keepers. This is legit Peruvian. Like I said, old school Peruvian machete. Tell me that
Oh,
don't just look scary.
it does
That's a
actually.
needle, dude. Like you
Yeah.
poke something with that. The end of that's so sharp. It's
Mm-hmm.
carbon steel. It's all handmade. Like this one I had to get it because this is like legit. Like some dude in the jungle was using this to eat monkeys or something.
Did you get it the same place you got the other one?
No, I got this one so the Conan sword I got a couple weekends ago when we went to Gatlinburg at
Yeah.
one of the bazaars up there. And this one I got at a place. He's got another one too. If he still got it when I go back, there's a little place in Pickens where I live called Finders Keepers, where they sell just all kinds of. It's just a hodgepodge, but most of it's antique.
See, and you'd have
And
two, one for each hand.
yeah. Oh, you should have ask Mike about it. He did when he come down here. I took him in there and all the toasters because you know how he collects cast iron and he likes his old stove and toasters and stuff. He found a toaster in there and he was flipping out. He's like, dude, look at these toasters.
Well,
He
we're
might have
all
bought
easy.
one. I think he might have bought. I think he bought a toaster when he was down here.
We're all easily amused in some way.
Right.
So, well, been a busy week for you. I know you were into with work and everything. You had very little free time.
It has been a very busy one. There's another one I hadn't shown you. There's Sting. Finally got Sting.
Oh no, I didn't know you had that one. That's
Yeah,
cool.
that's my new Sting.
Now, if that one finds its way down here, I won't be too mad or anything.
Yeah. I still got to get you your daggum Back to the Future coffee mug. I still haven't even shipped that thing.
I haven't drank coffee in so long as I don't have a mug when waiting on you. See, that's the kind of co-host I have, everybody. I mean,
That's right.
he teases me with a coffee cup and says, "Don't drink another drop of coffee till you get this cup. It's on the way." And I wait and
Yep.
I wait and I wait and man,
And y'all know what makes it so bad? I got it for him last Christmas.
I know. It'll be this upcoming Christmas when I get it finally, but you know,
Yeah.
it's all good. It's all good. So, just want to bring it to the attention. I mean, I know I put a little notice out. Sorry, we did miss a week not too long ago. I thought I had things set for upload. However, it proved that I did not, and I had a little bit of a detour myself in the hospital for a week, and then in bed rest for another week when I got home. So there was no podcasting or anything relative to the podcast being done during that 2 week period. Thankfully, we had quite a few. You know, I mean, in waiting. That's a good reason to get extra ones done, right?
That's right.
Just in case. But yeah, we're back on track now and everything, and should be good from this point forward, I believe. Hopefully, here, knock on wood. You can't hear that, but
yeah.
still. Quigley Down Under is the movie we're going with today, and just in case anybody does not know Quigley Down Under, it's the story of Matthew Quigley, an American sharpshooter hired by wealthy Australian land baron Elliot Marston. Quigley travels to Australia thinking he's been hired to handle wild dingoes so the dingo don't get your baby. But he quickly discovers Marston actually wants him to kill Aborigines. Disgusted, Quigley turns against Marston, helping protect the native people and teaming up with a troubled woman named Crazy Cora. What follows is a mix of Western shootouts, frontier justice, heart, and all set against the harsh Australian landscape. It's not just a shoot 'em up, it's a story about morality, redemption, and taking a stand. Travis,
Yo.
before this weekend, when's the last time you seen Quigley Down Under?
I don't know, 18 years ago.
It's been a good while, right?
10. Yeah, it's been a little while for sure.
It's a fun movie, and it's like kind of like a cult classic for westerns with people. But I mean, it's not one of those. It's not like it's Young Guns or Tombstone. We're not going to go watch it, quite often or anything.
Yeah,
but it's still good though.
Oh, dude, it's up there. I mean, if you were to get me to make a list of, I'd say, I mean, this might be in my top 15. I mean, if you were to get me to make a list of westerns,
That's what I say for westerns. You mean, right?
Yeah, for westerns, yeah, it's probably in my top 15.
I could see that.
Even top 10.
Because we're not just talking 80s and 90s. We're talking like just westerns in general,
of all
right?
time. Yeah, of all time for sure.
I
love Quigley. I forgot it's been long enough that because when we first discussed doing this movie, which we've talked about it quite a few times, we've always talked about how much that we do like it and how much fun the movie is. But it's one of those that you forget how much you like it because it's not one that you watch a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You forget how good it is. Like, even though you say, yeah, it's a great movie, you forget how truly good it is. Like, it's funny. It's doggone. It's got that good Western feel. It's got Professor Snape back in the you know what I mean? Like,
silly gun waving will be taken what we had in this classroom today.
Like his Hans Gruber days, close to it.
I believe this is after he was Hans Gruber. Well, it definitely is. This is 19. Older, I think. Yeah, this is 1990, I believe, when this came out. So, I think Hans Gruber was 87, 88.
Yeah, something like that. It was when the Christmas movie came out.
Speaking of the Christmas movie, that's right. Speaking of Hans Gruber, Mr. Alan Rickman, he decided to take this part because filming was taking place in Australia, and he always wanted to visit Australia. That was the reason he took the role.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's neat.
I mean, everybody's always got a reason. Like Michael Caine, for example, made Jaws 4 because it paid for his house. He didn't care to make the movie, but hey, it paid for his house. I think it was so.
Right.
that was good for him. So this guy just wanted to see Australia.
Just wanted to see
He says, "Yeah,
Australia.
I'll take it." Um,
Yeah.
great
Yeah,
cast.
so this was closer to his Sheriff of Nottingham days then.
Probably so. Yeah, I would say so. But it's a great cast in the movie, though. Tom Selleck playing Matthew Quigley, lead role in the movie. Everybody knew him as Magnum PI, one of
Yep.
TV's biggest stars of the 80s. He also appeared in Three Men and a Baby, which was a huge box office hit.
That's a great one.
I don't remember Lassiter, but I've got Lassiter listed here as well. Do you remember Lassiter?
Lassiter?
Yeah,
Never seen
Lassiter.
that. I have never seen Lassiter.
Well, now inquiring minds want to know.
He is a handsome jewel. I think he is a handsome jewel thief that is arrested in order to avoid prison. Must break into the heavily guarded German embassy to steal millions in gems. Might have to check that out.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I never even heard of it. Yo, it's got my man from Roger Rabbit. Come on. What's his name? The detective.
Bob Hoskins.
Bob Hoskins. Yeah, Bob Hoskins is in it. Lauren Hutton. Oh, Jane Seymour's in it.
Yeah.
Ed Lauder. There's some names in it. I bet that's gonna be good. I bet that's a good one. I'm gonna have to watch that one.
Yeah, we're going to check that one out probably. He was also in Mr. Baseball later on after this, which I thought was a fun movie. If you like sports movies, and of course Tom Selleck always plays a good role. So
yeah, and he's been in quite. He's good in the westerns. I'm really surprised he wasn't. Well, I don't know though, because at my age, I guess when he was really big, like I'm not sure if he didn't have the fame that he deserved. You know what I'm saying? Like, but when I think of Tom Selleck, I don't think of his westerns though. So maybe
you pretty much think of Magnum PI first and foremost.
Yeah,
everybody thinks of Magnum PI, and then some people, if
and
you
Jesse
think about TV
Stone.
shows, well, Jesse Stone, you got Blue Bloods. As of recent, if you were a Friends fan, you had an entire season where he played Richard on Friends.
Yes, he did.
So I mean, he's got quite a few things out there.
Oh Lord, look how bright that got when I took that hat off. Look at my head.
Oh my God, that's not bright. That's just a glare. See, that's why I leave my hat on, man. That's why I leave my hat on.
I'm like a man in the new Superman movie. I can't create a sun, but I can do something pretty close.
Close enough, right? Don't tilt too far into the camera. I don't want to be blinded when I'm trying to.
I know, right?
People here, grief.
Lord help.
My goodness. Do you remember the biggest fun fact though about Tom Selleck from the 80s?
No.
The biggest fun fact about him is that he was offered the role of Indiana Jones, but he turned it down. We did. He turned it down though because he was doing Magnum, and Magnum was such a popular show, and he was kind of committed to it. So they turned around and gave it to Harrison Ford, and then there you go. That went forward. So I don't think it was a terrible decision or anything, though. I'm not sure that Indiana Jones was a good fitting role for him anyway.
No, because I don't. Yeah, I can't. I mean, it's one of those things too, to where we don't know anything other than what we got. You know what I mean? So, and it was in Indiana, so iconic. But I still, you know what I mean? He even in his comical moments, I don't think he has the quip that, or he doesn't have the mannerisms or something. He doesn't have that it factor to carry those moments that Indy had. I don't think.
And he's got more good westerns out there. He's got Monty Walsh. He's got Crossfire Trail. You get the Shadow Riders, Last Stand at Saber River.
Yep.
What's the one where him and Sam Elliott were brothers that fought on opposite sides in the Civil War, and they were coming home after the war was over? What was that one?
That wasn't. Oh, I know which one you're talking about. And I don't. Was that a Western or a Civil War movie?
No, it was a Western, kind of set in a Western setting. They came back from the Civil War. Yeah. And let's see if I can't find it. Of course, like you said, the Jesse Stone movies were something else too.
Right. Yeah, I don't.
Let's see.
I
There's
don't
Money
remember.
Wash. There's Crossfire Trail. There is Last Stand at Saber River. There is Quigley Down Under.
But I
Uh,
know that's why I was saying that he. I'm surprised he isn't more well known for his westerns because he's got that toughness and that grit, that manly man, that mustache, dude. That mustache carries it all, dude.
right.
The stash. Him and Sam fighting over who's got. Yeah, they'd be fighting over who's got that one.
Well, I cannot believe I am not seeing it listed, or I'm looking at something altogether different here. I don't think so.
Maybe
These are his acting credits, but he's
maybe
got.
it's a different movie.
Surely that's not Shadow Riders. I don't think it's Shadow Riders.
Anyway, we
Yeah.
think that he did a movie. I'll tell you what I can do though. We could if we think that he did a movie with what's his name? Tom
Well,
Selleck.
it is Shadow Riders.
It is Shadow Riders.
Sure
Okay.
enough. That's my bad.
Well, anyway.
I thought it was called something different, to be honest with you.
Oh.
But regardless, it was still a great movie. And like I said, great cast. Laura San Giacomo would be Crazy Cora. And Crazy Cora was he runs into her as soon as he gets to Australia. She's putting up a fight, not wanting to get on the wagon with the people that are trying to take her back to the.
Then she said, "Roy, is that you?
Is that you, Roy?
Is that you, Roy?" Her story is so sad.
You think she's just trying to get away from him, acting like she knows him and everything, but it's like she's really delusional at this point. And when the name Crazy Cora is not far off. But we'll get to her story in just a second. She starred in Sex Lies and Videotape in '89, groundbreaking indie drama. You may also know her from Pretty Woman in 1990, and the sitcom Just Shoot Me in the late '90s.
Yeah.
So her role as Crazy Cora, though, brings humor to the movie, and there's a tragic depth to the story.
I know her from a lot of other stuff too, though, like The Stand.
Oh, she was great in The Stand.
Yeah, she's got quite a few roles. Everything she's been in, like I think she's memorable. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
for sure. She's one of those you definitely recognize her when you see her in something.
I didn't really make a huge list or anything, though. I mean, I just grabbed a few things off of there she was in. But yeah, definitely like anybody else, she's got a lot of good things. She's been in some other TV series. She's been in some other movies for sure.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to get more in depth with her, just check her out on IMDb and you'll see what we're talking about. Her character, though, is definitely deep. I mean, we'll go ahead and jump on that for a minute while we can. Apparently, before she comes to Australia, the reason why she got there is her husband put her on a boat to Australia and sent her on her way because he had wanted nothing to do with her anymore. He had gone away for work or something. I forget what it was. And when he come back home, before he got there, there was some, was it Comanches, I think, that were raiding the area.
Yeah.
And she was trying to get the baby to be quiet. And before she knew it, she had accidentally smothered the baby and it died. So the husband didn't want anything to do with her anymore because she, killed their only son, he said, to save her own life. And he took her and he just sent her on the first boat packing somewhere.
Yeah. And
so
that's what I said too. It was, I had forgotten that part of the movie. And it was funny to me because when I saw it, my thought was, man, like this has been done. Like this similar story, where it be the older brother or the older sister or the mom or whatever, it's been told quite a few times, I think. But I think that this is one of the first times that, thinking back. So, like I said, when on my initial rewatch, which was 3 weeks ago when we were originally going to do it, I think it's about 3 weeks ago when I watched it.
Dude, it was about a month ago we were going to do this. I just for a little, just for a little history on this. About a month ago, I went to my mom's house. I had to go there for the weekend and help out with some stuff. So it kind of put us off of doing this that weekend. So we delayed it.
Cynthia.
And then we had an interview with Cynthia Rothrock, which you would have heard just before this one, I believe.
Right.
And then
disclaimer. Hey, I want to interrupt the interruption real quick. Disclaimer. that was nerd talk. I think I did preface with that with I didn't know that there were any truth to it because it was nerd talk and I didn't research it too good. But it looks like it was nerd talk about not so much of the cast bucking Disney, but the thing of my man doing his stuff in green screen separate from everybody else and everything.
Okay, now what are we talking about now? You just completely
When I was
lost
talking
me.
about the Fantastic Four stuff.
Well, that must have been last week or something. I don't remember what you're
No,
talking
it was
about.
it was while we were talking to Cynthia, right, when we were talking about the AI stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah, my bad.
So okay,
Right.
anyway, I just wanted a disclaimer that I think that is not true. And back to what you were saying.
All right, so anyway, those 2 weeks happened, and then I ended up going in the hospital with a leg infection, and I'm in a hospital for about a week, and then I come out of the hospital to go home and finish healing up at home. And the first weekend I was there, it just wasn't doable. I couldn't even stand on my leg without pain or anything still. And the following weekend, I thought we were going to be able to do it. Actually, it's 5 weeks, Travis. It's 5 weeks ago.
Lord,
So
that tells you how busy
last
I am.
weekend,
It feels like
was
2 or 3 weeks ago.
yeah, last weekend was the last chance. I thought we were going to do it, and I didn't want to push it, I guess, because of where I was at with the healing process. And you were busy anyway. You needed the time just as well. So
Yeah.
we said, okay, one more week. And this is why I'm glad we had some things, kind of put back, because I want to try to stay ahead where I'm 2 or 3 weeks in advance of things waiting to just upload. And Travis, I told him we were going to take a good vacation from recording. Well, we took a vacation from recording, not quite one that I wanted. Since I was down the whole time. But I mean, it's good to have them in the in reserve, waiting to go out. But yeah, about 5 weeks ago we started doing this, and so both of us had to rewatch it this past weekend just to make sure we're on top of it.
Right. But yeah, that's what I was saying. That when I first saw it, that was my initial thought that that story's been told a few times. Like, man, come on. But then I think back about it too. It's like I'm not sure how many times that plight has been put in a movie before this movie. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So yeah, she was pretty. One of my favorite parts, the little exchange between them, that just kind of shows you how crazy she was. They were after the guy had dumped them in the desert and everything, and they're walking through the desert. She's like, crazy Cora said, if you're lost, you can tell me. And Quigley goes, we're lost. And she said, I can take bad news. Just tell me straight. He said, I don't know where the hell we are. She said, no sense taking time to make it sound better than it is. He goes, I reckon we're going in circles. She said, wire things up. Well, I'll see it right through. Just tell me honestly, are we lost? He said, nope, I know exactly where we are. She said, that's good because I was getting a little worried.
It's some very humorous stuff all throughout the movie, just like that. When they first meet up and he gets off the boat and he sees that she's fighting those guys and the guy's about to hit her and he hooks his arm and says, I don't think that, I don't think so. It's not happening, or whatever. And so it turns out these are the people who were sent to pick him up to go back to the farm for Rickman's character, Elliot Marston. They're supposed to be picking him up. Well, he ends up fighting these guys for they realize who he is. And another humorous thing, he kind of puts her off behind him to the side and he says, look, I'm new here. He goes, is it just me or is everybody ugly like the three of you? They start their little fight and everything, which is it's going pretty good until she decides she's going to hit one of them with an oar from a boat and then hits him instead. I'm sorry, Roy.
Sorry, Roy.
My name is not Roy. Alan Rickman is Elliot Marston. He's the guy that brings Matthew Quigley over. And this is just a year, it says, after his breakout. Actually, this is, a little over a year because Die Hard was 88, it says. Just a year after his breakout villain role as Hans Gruber in Die Hard. Mm-hmm. He performed here as the Twisted Land Baron, cemented his ability to play charismatic villains, which he already did that playing Hans Gruber. And then, of course, he became iconic as one of our favorite characters in a very popular book series turned to movie, Harry Potter. Played Severus Snape.
Mr. Severus Jake Snake.
You say Jake?
But he was in some other good stuff along the way too, like we had mentioned, he was Sheriff from Nottingham in the Kevin Costner Robin Hood movie. He did. He was in Dogma. Dogma's great if you never watched it. But then right after Dogma, in the same year in '99, he did Galaxy Quest, which was pretty daggum hilarious with Tim the Toolman Taylor. But I really loved him too in as Judge Turpin in Sweeney Todd. I'm a big musical sucker anyway, but Sweeney Todd was great.
I never watched Sweeney Todd.
Phenomenal. Oh, Sweeney Todd was magnificent, dude, and it was a cavalcade of stars. And what's funny about it as well is Judge Turpin was Professor Snape, and then Bam Beetle, or something like that. Bam Beetle, not like the beetle that moves around, but with a D. He was the guy that played Ron's rat in Timothy Spall. He played Ron's rat,
right,
in the Harry Potter series,
right.
But then you got Helena Bonham Carter as Miss Lovett. Sacha Baron Cohen was in it. It's really, really good. If you like musicals, it's not everybody's cup of tea. Some people watch that and be like, dude, that's just.
I mean, I've seen a couple of musicals that are okay, but I'm not huge on them or anything.
Yeah, this one's gratuitously violent, and it's So like I said, some people watch it and go, how, dude, like what?
Do you have any other people from the cast you want to bring up and mention, or you're just going to go with the big three?
Just the true star of the movie, the 1874 Sharps Buffalo rifle.
Put it out there to tell them all about it.
Yeah, it's so the movie. So the star of the movie, what made truly. So we've been talking about other character and the cast and everything, and this story and this and that. But what's truly the star of the movie is Quigley's rifle. So he was brought out there because he's like the greatest marksman in the world. And what it was he was shooting a modified 1874 lever action Sharps single chamber, or not single chamber, single load buffalo rifle. And it was normally they were like 30 inches long on the barrel. His was extended another 4 inches. So it had a 34-inch barrel on it. And he was shooting 45 110 rounds, which is a high powder load. So 45 would be the caliber, 110 is the grain. And back then would be even now, like a 110 45, especially the shape of the bullet. We're not talking about a handgun here. We're talking about a rifle.
Looked like a mini rocket going in that thing, didn't it?
Yes, they're large. The rounds are large for sure. Because you got to think. So now that's an American round. So you think 45. That's 0.45, 450 thousandths of an inch. So that's 50 thousandths away from being a half inch around. It's a large bullet.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it's a rifle round too. So it's shaped a little different than, a Deagle, a Desert Eagle 45 would be. And then the casing on it is like 3 inches long, filled up with powder, And you got to think too, like this was set back in the day. So cartridges and technology wasn't as efficient as it is nowadays either. Like the ballistics weren't nearly as efficient as they are now. But even still, that's a big round.
Very big.
And it could shoot it like it shot flat, far away. So and that was one of the big things too, was he was able to shoot so far and so accurately with it. And it had this really cool sight that stood. So it had iron sights. It didn't, because back then they didn't have the telescopic sights. Right. So it had iron sights. So it had this like a bridge almost, like two fingers that stood up, and they had like scales on them, and then you had an eyepiece, like just a round piece. Imagine looking through a washer. So and you would move that up and down to account for your distance and your windage and everything. It's just a super cool thing, and it was cutting edge technology for the time.
Not to mention two triggers on it.
Yeah, he had two triggers on it. So it was one gets ready to shoot it, and then the other one lets it go.
Right. Very neat.
It's kind of like cocking. So I was showing my son the other day. I've got a 357 mag snubby, and I was showing my son, my youngest, about the hammer on it. I was explaining to him because it's, for all intents and purposes, it's probably the most dangerous gun that you have, because the safety on the revolver takes like this weird little Allen key that goes in the back and locks the hammer down. So I was showing him that, you pull the trigger and the barrel spins. I said, or you cock the hammer back, because I was showing him how the hammer comes back and that's, engages the firearm. I said, or you cock the hammer back and take aim. And he said, now what's the difference in that? Well, the difference is if you pull the trigger back without the hammer cocked, you've got to fight the resistance that it takes to pull that hammer back with the trigger. Right. Now, when you cock the hammer, now it's like nothing.
You're just releasing it, basically.
Yeah, and it takes no pressure to do it, and it's done. So once you get, with this being such a long range, I would imagine that's kind of like what it does too. You got your safety, and then that hairpin trigger.
Well, let's jump into some pre-production notes and talk about the director for a minute. The director of the movie was Simon Windsor. He's an Australian director who had previously done Far Lap, and later he did Free Willy in 1993. I don't know anything about the producer they listed, Stanley O'Toole. The only thing listed about him, huh?
I know that name.
Yeah, he's probably done other stuff, but I mean, it's just brought up known for working on The Boys from Brazil and The Bounty. Windsor, the director, was perfect for the project though, because he could balance the Western genre with an authentic Australian settings and culture, since he's from Australia. Mm-hmm. In pre-production, believe it or not, the script for Quigley Down Under had been floating around since the mid-1970s. This movie was originally envisioned as a project for major Hollywood stars like Steve McQueen. So this could have been done back in the 70s, back when they were doing some other westerns and everything, but no one actually took it up. Tom Selleck has actually been attached to the film for years, but trouble was getting it greenlit due to Hollywood studios being unsure about an Australian Western. But finally, with Tom Selleck's star power from Magnum P.I., and after the success of other 80s Western revivals like Silverado and Young Guns, the film was given the go-ahead. They had a $20 million budget. Unfortunately, it only made about $21 million worldwide. So it was not a huge hit. I say it broke even. Critics were mixed about it. Some of them praised Selleck's performance and the fresh setting, while others thought the movie was uneven. But over time, it's become a cult favorite amongst Western fans.
Yeah.
Speaking of, this movie and, people it was possibly made for, Steve McQueen was once attached to it back in the 70s before his health declined, and Clint Eastwood was rumored to have been interested early on, but instead he focused on films like Pale Rider and Unforgiven. So he didn't make a bad choice at all.
He didn't make a bad choice, but it makes me wonder, would it have done exponentially more at the box office had it been Clint? Because I do feel like this is a role that Clint could have stepped in and done just as fine.
Yeah, and I'm gonna bring it up to you in just a few minutes with some of these questions I'm gonna toss at you. That was actually kind of getting around to one of them. Some of the reports suggested the role of Marston, which went to Alan Rickman, could have easily gone to Sam Neill, but they casted Rickman instead. Now I don't know what the deciding factor was, but they did go with Alan Rickman over Sam Neill.
That's why I know Stanley O'Toole. I knew that name. So the reason I know Stanley O'Toole is because he produced one of the movies that I've been bringing up for a couple of years now for us to do too, that we hadn't got around to. He was the executive producer on Enemy Mine with Louis Gossett Jr. and that other guy. And then he did Lion. He did Lionheart.
The other guy, Dennis Quaid.
The other guy. Yeah, Quaid. Who was it? A Quaid?
Dennis Quaid.
And then he did Lionheart. Blood Moon is a scary movie. So yeah, that little run from 85 to 1990, he had some pretty good movies.
So
That's how I
Lionheart
knew.
being Van Damme.
Oh no, the Lionheart movie is about uh, a dude wanting to join up. It's a what do you call it? Like like dragons and knights and Renaissance type movie. It's he was wanting to join King Richard's Crusaders, and he leads a group of orphans to safety and protects them from a notorious slaver.
Okay, sounds good. Definitely sounds good.
Yeah,
Might to look that one up now.
yeah, we could do that.
So where are we at here? We let's see. We talked about the post production. We're gonna get off that one for just a second. I got a couple of questions for you upcoming, but before we get to the questions, thought we'd go over a couple of little fun trivia things here. Tom Selleck said his scariest moment ever as an actor occurred while standing on a boulder near Alice Springs, Australia, over a cliff. He said, I had to look down, and it was a big boulder. So they said, just go stand on the boulder. You'll be fine.
Oh,
But the boulder started rattling back and forth. And I said, maybe you need to tie me off. Yeah, I don't think he wanted to take that kind of a ball. I don't think I could have done that. I hate heights, man. That wouldn't have worked good for me at all.
I hate them, but that's why I like them though, because they make me scared. I'm a weirdo.
Yeah. Couple interesting things we've already kind of touched on here. The film had been Steve McQueen's next film after The Hunter in 1980, but he fell ill shortly after making that, so the project was scrapped. It was revived several times throughout the 80s with various stars in mind for the lead. Harrison Ford was offered the lead role, but turned it down because he was considered too visibly similar to Indiana Jones. The lead was first offered to Tom Selleck in 85. He had to turn it down because of his commitment to Magnum P.I. When the series concluded in 88, he quickly asked if the role was still available, and he accepted it. Said the producers spent another year gathering a reasonable budget for it to make it. 3 Sharps rifles were built for the film, one for shooting, one as a club in the fight scenes, and a backup weapon in case one was damaged. Selleck requested to keep the 3 rifles built for the film. He had 2 of them reconditioned to remove scratches and straighten and tighten some of the moving parts. And years later, he signed and auctioned 2 of them as part of a fundraiser for the National Rifle Association.
And those 3 guns were actually replica model of the 1874 Sharps Buffalo rifle by a company called Shiloh Rifles of Montana. I don't think you can get them from there anymore, but I forgot the name of them, but I did find some. You can get you one for about probably after taxes and shipping or whatever, about $3,000.
Well, it says here his third one, he donated the third rifle with its fringed leather scabbard and belt knife to the Brownells Family Museum. I don't know what that said, but how cool would it have been to get one of those 2 that he autographed?
That would have been awesome.
That would have been pretty cool for sure. Definitely. Sharps rifles are now so inseparably related to this film. They're commonly nicknamed Quigley guns. Sales for such weapons increased by over 1,000% following the film's release, especially in the United States and Australia, and continued throughout 2013.
Heck yeah.
I mean,
that's another cool thing too, because so the other cool thing about this is this was a black powder round as well, which is also why the cartridge was so huge, because it was just pure black powder. So with us using the mixture of silver powder and black powder and smokeless powders and stuff that we, like I said, the technology for ballistics, you had to pack a lot of black powder in. 110s of black powder takes up some room, but it's pretty cool too that they said I read it, the ability to shoot accurately to 1,200 yards or more with iron sights is not as far-fetched as it sounds, because in 1874, during the Second Battle of Adobe Walls in northern Texas, William Dixon used a 50 caliber with 110 rounds, so it's a 50-110 Sharps, to shoot a Native American off his horse from 1,538 yards. And such a heavy bullet propelled by black powder would have had a trajectory to that of an arrow fired from 100 yards. striking his target at a 30-degree down angle. So Dixon claimed his shot was pure luck. So basically, he would have been having to aim 20 feet above the guy he was trying to shoot.
But he got it there, though.
He got it there with a black powder round. That's crazy.
Crazy. He says while discussing the Colt Army revolver during the dinner at Marston's house, Quigley quips that God made all men. They say Sam Colt made them equal, more or less. This is a paraphrase of the post-Civil War slogan, Abe Lincoln may have freed all men, but Sam Colt made them equal.
I have never heard that. I've never heard that.
I've
heard the first one. I've always heard, God made man, Sam Colt made him equal. That's what I've always heard. I didn't even know that was a
No,
thing.
I haven't. I didn't know either. The Shiloh Sharps replica rifle uses a double set trigger. That's what we were talking about earlier. An excellent image of this trigger is seen when Matthew is demonstrating accuracy of the rifle along with his own proficiency. For Marston, immediately after his arrival at the station, the rifle is loaded, then the hammer is drawn back to the cocked position. Once on target, the rear trigger is then squeezed. Now the front trigger is ready to fire the weapon, using only an extremely light hair trigger squeeze.
There you go.
The rifle may also be fired during using only the front trigger after loading and setting the hammer to the cocked position, but with a more conventional heavy pull to fire the weapon.
Exactly. You see, that's what I was explaining with the revolvers. That's how revolvers work too. Because if you're trying to make that long shot, or if you're trying to make a very accurate shot, that the strength that it takes to pull it back, you know what I mean? You could get the little bit of wiggle or the slightest little movement. Whereas when you're setting it like that, and in that little hair trigger, you don't get the movement that you would get
right
to get off target.
Well, let's see. We talked about Steve McQueen and Clint Eastwood. Then, of course, this was the first of 3 collaborations, all westerns, between Tom Selleck and director Simon Windsor. The other 2, Monty Walsh and Crossfire Trail, were television productions.
I love one part of the movie too. They said, "Where are you from?" And he's like, "Wyoming." And they said, "Is that near Sydney?" He's like, "It's a bit further north."
Yeah, just a little bit further north.
Just a little bit further north.
I can't remember the exact quote. Maybe you can remember this. When they're going to Marston's ranch, the British people come up beside them, I guess, to talk about deserters or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they ask about him. And what is it they say to him?
I don't remember. I don't recall that one.
Something about Americans being something. And they ask him about what was he about something else. And he said, well, we chased all ours out of the country and sent them packing back to England. And he spits on his shoe.
Yeah. I can't remember what in the world. I cannot remember for the life of me what he asked him.
I just watched it yesterday too. That's terrible.
Well, I mean, you're in a state of disarray.
I know. I'm in something anyway. Let's see. So just jump on some questions here. You mentioned this earlier. I'm gonna go and throw it at you now. How do you think Tom Selleck's Quigley compares to Clint Eastwood's iconic Western characters? And then we're going to follow that up with, would Quigley Down Under have succeeded more if Clint Eastwood had played the role of Matthew Quigley?
So, I mean, you got 2 totally different actors, so you got 2 totally different takes on the character too. So, I mean, I feel like I don't know though. I mean, when I think about it, they are kind of similar though. They're the way they deliver stuff and I guess you'd say the old school manliness, and then the little quips that they give. But then at the same time, I do think that Clint Eastwood, if he had been attached to the film, it would have done better. For one thing, just solely because of his name, and you know what I mean. Like that's what he's known for. But
I think
I'm not going to go so far as to say I think it would have been a better movie with Clint. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the character Matthew Quigley, as far as how it compares to Clint Eastwood's iconic Western characters, I think Clint Eastwood's Western characters are definitely more believable as far as like an outlaw or a gunslinger would be.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. But then you think too though that Quigley wasn't really that kind of character. He was a sharpshooter,
Right. That's what I
and
was gonna, that's what I
he
was
came out
getting
there
at.
for hire to chase off some varmints.
He does do an excellent job of playing somebody that lived in that time frame, in
Hmm.
that type of character. And then that's in any Western he's been in. He's got that same kind of feel, that same type of Western character. And I
Yeah,
like that. I do.
that
But he's
rugged
definitely,
grittiness.
yeah, but
Yeah,
he's not like Preacher,
yeah.
with
He didn't portray the mysteriousness, or
he's no Johnny he's no Johnny Ringo either.
no. And you got to think too, though. Like I said too, if you go on physicality alone, Clint, the squinty eyes and the way he talks, and he keeps his mouth shut half the time when he talks. You know what I mean? Like he don't really move
Yeah.
his jaw a lot when he talks. So he's got more of a menacing and mysterious projection about him than Tom does. I think Tom's
So
just
now,
a
as far as Clint Eastwood playing the role of Matthew Quigley over Tom Selleck, do you think that version of a Matthew Quigley would have been accepted more and done better at the box office than? And I'm not talking about because of Clint Eastwood's star power, because I mean
yeah,
Selleck had star power at the time too.
right.
But knowing the type of character that Clint Eastwood plays in westerns, would his version of Quigley been a better fit for the movie? Because I feel like Tom Selleck's version was a way better fit for what he was doing, for
Yeah,
what they wanted
and
out of the movie.
yeah, I agree with you on that. My response to that would be that I don't think that it would have enhanced the movie, but as far as the part of the question that would it have done better at the box office, possibly, because people, especially at the time, I don't think would be, because this is more of a comical western than it is a gritty western.
Right.
Even though they did great at showing the grit, and then it being set in Australia too, not sure that the people of the time, if they would have had more of a BA or outlaw kind of character, I think that the masses were kind of that was more popular at the time, I think, for a
Right.
western. So I think it probably would have helped at the box office a little bit, but I don't think it would have made the movie better, in my opinion.
I mean, I think the film deserved a better box office return than what it got. I think it's a much better movie than what it did at the theater.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if it was because the audiences, in the 90s, in the early 90s there, were they really looking for another Western? You done had Young Guns, you done gone through things in the 80s that Eastwood put out, and you had what wasn't Lonesome Dove in the 80s too, late 80s.
Yeah, it was 80s, early 90s, and to that fact too, that was kind of the time that the 90s is kind of when westerns kind of sort of started trailing off. You kind of had to have something that was a little different, or something that was big time for it to really do well. That's like 310 to Yuma. I didn't think that was as great a movie as it has been touted to be. I really just, I'm not saying it's a bad movie, but I'm just not saying, to me, I don't think 310, the remake is what I mean to say with
Right. I mean, that's like
Batman.
taking the original Rooster Cockburn.
Yeah, the remake they did with that,
Yeah.
with my guy in RIPD, the dude does not abide. Uh, I didn't think it was nearly as good, not nearly as good.
Yeah.
So I mean, but then you take stuff like you said, like Unforgiven and Young Guns and Tombstone, and and those were just flat out blockbusters. But they had something, they brought something a little different, which would make me also think that Quigley would have done better because it was bringing something a little different for the time as well.
So now Sam Neill was the guy they said was considered for Marston, played by Alan Rickman.
Mm-hmm.
And Sam Neill, if I'm not mistaken, that is the guy from Jurassic Park, right? Played
Yes, the original, yeah, and he
the
was,
original Jurassic
Sam's been
Park.
in a bunch of stuff. I like Sam Neill a
He
lot. He
has.
was in a movie that
Now,
really really crazy, scary movie called Event Horizon. It's a sci-fi horror,
Yes,
and
seen
it
that.
is amazing.
Yes. If you picture him in the role of Marston,
Mm-hmm.
you know what type of actor he is, the type of characters he portrays in other movies. Most people, most actors and actresses kind of portray the same thing in most movies they're in with a little twist here and there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think a Sam Neill version of Marston would have been better than Alan Rickman?
I I don't want to say it because I love Alan. I really don't want to say it, but yeah, I really do. I think he would have brought more energy to it. He would have stole the scenes that he was in. So the scenes that Alan was in, we're watching that now. You go, oh wow, it's Alan Rickman, and you love it because it's Alan Rickman. But I think like a first watch, especially at the time,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think that Sam Neill, even now, even if you were to go back and watch it, and yeah, I think Sam Neill would have stole the scenes that he was in because even with Alan Rickman being in this, the scenes that Alan Rickman was in, he didn't overpower what was going on. You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't if Alan didn't have the fame that he had, or he wasn't Hans Gruber. I really don't feel like that particular character that he played would have been all that memorable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not. I don't think of that guy when I think of Alan Rickman, so it wouldn't have been a memorable character. I think Sam Neill would have made that a memorable character, and it would have jumped. He would have popped off the screen in the scenes that he was in.
All right. Well, we're getting pretty close to wrapping up here for the night, but looking back in the movie this weekend, do you have a favorite scene from the movie that just stands out to you?
Um, man, it's hard to choose, man. The first scene where he shot the bucket stands out to me. The one where he was in the desert and he got the gun and they were trying to get out of Dodge and he caught him anyway. And
Mm-hmm.
then the part in the cave with the Aborigine. Yeah, I mean there's some quite a few standout scenes. I think it's hard for me to choose, honestly.
I think if I pick one, it's where they took him out to the desert to dump him and Crazy Cora and leave him for dead. And he reminds the guy something about the gold. You know, you forgot the gold.
Oh yeah,
You know, and he
that was
just
good.
lured him down to come get the gold and ends up stabbing him and taking back his rifle. And the other guy sees what's happening. He takes off with the wagon and he just starts hauling it out of there. He don't want to wait behind and see, give him a chance to shoot him. So he takes off thinking he's getting enough distance between them. And I'm watching it going, come on, just get him before he leaves. Just plug him before he leaves. Don't let him get away, And I remember the first time watching it, it looks like he's going to get away because he's got him in his sights, but then he has to wipe sweat away from his eye and everything so he can see right. And he picks it back up and just shoots it just that quick.
Just gets
Doesn't
him.
take a lot of time lining it up. It's like he's got him right there in his sights where he wants him, and he lets it loose. And you hear, then you hear an echo. And then all of a sudden, he's like 2 seconds later, you see the guy falling off the wagon. It's like bam, right there.
Yeah, you
And
got it.
it's and that's kind of accurate if you think about it. I mean, you're long distance shooting like that. People think, well, guns fire, bullets fly fast. Why did it take a couple of seconds before it reached him and knocked him off the wagon?
Right, yeah, because he's so far away. Yeah.
But you're talking so far away. I mean, it's like it makes you wonder with those stupid questions that you hear for the people out there. But let's say that the guy was running away from him. Okay. If he hears the initial pull of the trigger,
Yeah.
if you just drop down on the ground right away, are you dodging the bullet? I mean,
But yeah, maybe. Yeah, because
crazy,
you got
but
about I mean, I feel like that was a little uh exaggerated. But I mean, yeah, that happens. You hear the and then like a full second later, you hear the and then you have time to hear the bullet zinging after the gunshot when it's that far away.
if you can hear the bullet zinging at that point, it's probably too late to get out of the way.
Yeah. Yeah, you better hope it just went by you when you hear it.
Lords. Well, if I'll go ahead and give our information out for everything, and then we'll go ahead and read this outro and wrap it up. But if you guys like the show today, drop us an email, go on to social media, contact us there. Let us know what's your favorite part of the movie. Would you have preferred Clint Eastwood had done this movie over Tom Selleck back in the 80s? Do you think it would have made a big difference? I mean, everything you heard us pose questions out here today and talked about, let us know your thoughts on the movie as well. I'd definitely be interested in hearing that. For those of you who don't follow us on the regular, you can catch us on Facebook, catch us on Instagram. We do put these up on YouTube, so you can see our video on YouTube. And if you go to our website at www.retrolife4, you can listen to us in the browser and you can watch the video in the show notes once it's been uploaded. So we're basically anywhere you get your audio podcast. So iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, yada, yada, yada. So as far as the movie goes, Quigley Down Under may not have been a smash hit at the box office, but it gave us a unique spin on the Western, paired Tom Selleck with a role that showed his range and delivered one of Alan Rickman's most underrated villain performances. Yes. Over the years, it's earned its place as a cult classic, reminding us that sometimes heroes and Westerns can come from the most unexpected places. So thanks for riding along with us today on Retro Life for You. And if you enjoyed the episode, hit that subscribe button, share it with your fellow retro movie fans, and leave us a review. Maybe even a few short words there on iTunes, on Apple. Let us know what you think about it.
For sure. It's worth to watch. For sure.
Definitely worth to watch. Travis, you got anything you want to leave us with today?
Yeah, one of my favorite stories my grandpa used to tell. I leave y'all with.
Yeah.
Said two church ladies was standing outside the town one day. They was kind of walking to the post office, and this cowboy come riding up on a horse, and they stopped and looked because he's a good looking feller. He tied the horse off and walked back to the back of the horse and lifted his tail up and kissed the horse right smack on the butt, like not the butt, like the butt,
the butt.
The butt, the nasty part. And under the tail, and he turned around, and the women were like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, I've got chapped lips from being riding through the town, the desert all day." She's like, "They said, does that stop him?" He said, "No, but it stops me from licking them."
Oh my God! Bye, everybody.